Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about, when the narcissist makes you feel like a burden, it impacts your opportunities and growth, So hear me out on this, I want you to know, I've talked a lot on this channel if you've been with me for a while. I've only actually launched this channel end of February, but if you've been with me for a few months, I have been through these cycles at various times in my life. I went through it in childhood. I thought I'd healed everything about it. I think I actually really did do a good job of that. I had healthy relationships, a good career, blah, blah, blah. And then I got into a whole new cycle of being targeted, victimized, and completely annihilated by narcissists, where I lost everything twice. So this video is called How the Narcissist Makes You Feel Like a Burden and How It Limits Your Growth and Opportunities. I've talked before, there's a video called How We Pick Up Toxic Traits, and I want you to know that when you're in a poisonous environment, there is no way you don't pick up toxicity. And so a lot of what I talk to you about on this channel is personal power, transformation, being in your authenticity. I talk about money, I talk about because our attitude towards things gets tarnished, and so does your independence and your freedom because of it, So the narcissist always makes you feel like a burden. As a child, I'm sure a lot of you, I've heard it in my groups and coaching a lot, and I felt like it too, where we've been parenting our parents, We weren't allowed to be children. A lot of us have had that experience where we were given way more responsibility than a child should have. Responsibility for a parent's emotions, being made to feel like we were in the way, that any needs, wants, anything, not even desires at that point, just any basic needs were a burden, often on our parents if we've grown up in those environments. If you haven't been in a childhood situation, then in a relationship, your basic wants and needs don't matter. This will happen financially, sexually, emotionally, and physically, You might be living in an environment where you, gosh, I can't even go into the stories, it's ridiculous. I remember I got a bigger place for me and my ex, and the reason I got, I had a room that was for my office, I was paying it, but he was trying to insist that I should make it into a spare room because his son he had his own place where his son could have stayed, but he was making it on me that I should make this into a room for his son, so I didn't make my own office. They will constantly try and limit your growth, but the feeling of a burden, that everything you want is a burden, every need you have, even your birthday, even an occasion, even when you've got something to celebrate, it's all a hassle for them. They'll make it about them. I had to go to get help once for my health, and I was with a narcissist, and he was complaining so hard about how uncomfortable he was because it was a longer car ride, that it was such a burden to take me. It's a burden to have you if you're a child, even though you never asked to be born, It's a burden when you're in a relationship, because if you have wants and needs outside what they don't want you to have any of your own wants, needs and desires. So you've got to fit around them. You've got to become what they need you to be. And in order to hook you, they pretend to be what you need them to be often, in the love bomb stages, which they'll keep occasionally projecting like an illusion to you of a parent that loves you or a partner that loves you. So we get trained to feel like we're a burden. That's a great strategy for a deceptive narcissist who wants you to feel uncomfortable about basic things. So now, for a lot of people, any need you have, you feel guilty about, you feel shame about, and you keep minimizing. You keep minimizing because you're guilt tripped over it. You're made to feel like, even the slightest, most basic things that people should do in relationships for each other is too much. And when they inevitably cross your boundaries, do things to betray you, that they'll turn that on you in some way. It'll be your fault for their bad behavior in some way. It's always because of what you did or something that you've done that then caused their behavior. Or they'll do something, and because you react, maybe you do something in retaliation, or because it's called reactive abuse, if you lash out or act out of character because of something they've done, and now their behavior is on you. So you're constantly under this burden thing. How does this also disempower us, because you start feeling you're a burden in everything in your life, which means, I talked to you the other day about, feel like you're an investor in your life, you're an investor in the quality of your life. Your priorities, where you spend your time, energy and money, should be in your quality of life, in your progression of yourself. But the thing is, when you've been in these cycles, what is so outstanding to me is that a lot of people won't heal until it gets so terrible for them. I really want to stop that. I want you to choose your growth before things get so bad, because I can play with you into your potential there. You know what I mean? Like, if your life's good, imagine how great it could be if you focus on your development. But most of us, and I've talked about this before about why, it is psychology, will wait until things get so bad. And when you do get out, guess what? Your health, you feel like your health's a burden, your healing's a burden, your having to learn about this is a burden, having to heal. Why? Because you think you're a burden. I changed in poverty my priorities. When I really didn't have anything for food, I would invest in my personal development and growth. If you don't make, the universe will meet you where you are. So if you say, I'm a priority, the universe will agree. But if you go, I'm a priority, but I won't put my money there, the universe is like, well, then you're not a priority to yourself. So time, energy and attention and money have to be in alignment with what are your priorities. And actually they already are. So the challenge is, a lot of us feel burdened by ourselves. You have a body. Yeah, it's not that someone else should look after it. It's on us. Your body wants you to parent it. Your life wants you to parent it. Your future wants you to parent it, which means I've got to invest in it. I've got to invest my time, energy and resources. You're given resources for a reason, not just to, like, for use for growth. Anything that you can grow, which means that when you invest in yourself, you're your biggest asset. You're not a risk, you're not a gamble, you're not a burden, you're a sure bet. You're the thing that you're betting on. But a lot of us think we're a burden. So then we're like in this kind of resistance, right? We don't think we should have to heal. I shouldn't have to heal. I shouldn't have to spend money on myself. I shouldn't have. And then we go with this. And look, I had to address, by the way, as I keep reminding you, every video I make is designed for you, for me, and for us as a collective, because, right, it's me not that many years ago in these cycles with giving myself the information I need to know, the tools I need to have, and the clarity I need to hear. Transformation, I wrote today in the comments, comes from, the best transformation is going to come from focused work and support. But like so many of us want to get a quick win because we don't think we should have to. I'm telling you, there is nothing on the planet you should take more seriously than yourself and your quality of life. Most people don't get on their deathbed and regret the things that they did take risks on overall. They regret the things they didn't do sooner and the things that they didn't actually go for. Don't even risk that in your life. You're playing for quality of life. Now, I taught you, time is a thing you won't get back. I mean, you can extend your lifespan, but you won't get it back. So your time is extremely important, as is your attention and focus, and your money is given to you to be able to use it to progress. But most of us are not treating it like that. In fact, we don't even look at where, because we're so wired in our conditioning, in our present moment, we don't even look where we do have more available to us than we think, right? But most of us want to wait until things get so bad. Do they make it an absolute must that they'll change? If you change before that, you won't have to go through half the amount of pain, and it will be even bigger for you and easier for you to go into your potential. Why wait for things to get so bad? When you're on these trajectories, it goes one way, but we feel like we're a burden. There's something I do in Sovereign about taking up space. It's an energy here, activation where we actually take up space in the world. I think I've put something on here about that too, a training on that. But like, we're scared to take up space. We feel like a burden. And all of this feeds into all of the toxic traits of these cycles, like people pleasing, like holding back on our truth, like not being authentic, like not daring to dream, like not going through our heart's desires, because everything's a burden. Even your dreams and desires are. We want what not to want when you are actually put on the planet to desire, to dream, to go for goals. But you've got to be serious about understanding that, like, the resources you have are a gift and they're meant to be used for your growth. So we've got to stop this conditioning of, I only want to do it if it's easy or if it's free. make things worthwhile in your life. Don't look for a shortcut. Don't look for a magic pill. Like magic pill meaning people are like people keep buying into these scams, which is like magic thinking. You know, like I'm into magic in terms of like life being full of synchronicities and working with the universe and life being able to surprise and delight you. But I'm very, very grounded in it and real, which means I understand quantum physics, I understand manifestation, and I understand how it works. And there are miracles available to you, but it's not haphazard, right? People that are looking lucky are prepared. They're prepared energetically, and they're prepared like in their goals and their desires and their dreams. They're consistent enough, and then of course something hits them and it's an opportunity and it looks like it was just a miracle, but they were prepared. Be prepared for your future, be prepared for your quality of life, and understand where your conditioning is off. If it is a burden for you to invest your time, energy and money in yourself, something's off. Now, a lot of people spend money to pacify emotions. They go on shopping sprees or binges, right? Like a binge eater binge eats. A lot of people have substance abuse or habits from narcissistic abuse because they can't regulate their emotions, right? And a lot of people deal with money that way, as a pacifier, rather than seeing it as a resource you've got to invest in your growth. Your growth is not a burden, it's your biggest opportunity in life. Your growth, your expansion, you are your biggest opportunity in life. When you understand that, right, then you won't see anything you put towards your own development as a burden, as, something else I've got to do, something else I've got to fix. It should be a partnership. I talk about self-partnering with you and you, where it's like, I've got my back. I've got my back. Of course I'm going to fuel it. Of course I'm going to sacrifice if I need to in order to grow myself. I am my biggest investment in life because I'm the only person on the planet that is here actually who is supposed to be looking after me. Right? But looking after me doesn't mean pacifying my emotions. It means learning to regulate them. Looking after me doesn't mean denying my dreams and dulling what's in my heart. No, it means cultivating them and becoming the person capable of achieving and receiving them. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Lots of love. I'd love your comments, and I'll speak to you soon.